5 years of architecture school, sometimes 7, if you add graduate study. You survive the critiques, the all-nighters, the scale models built by hand, and finally step onto a real job site. And almost immediately, you hear the same observation from emerging architects around the world. Nothing I learned in school prepared me for this. The hand-drafting instincts, the tactile memory of building physical models. All of it feels suddenly irrelevant when you are staring at an unfamiliar software interface on your very first day. This gap between academic training and professional practice is not new. But right now, a powerful new variable has entered the equation: artificial intelligence. Can AI finally bridge the deep divide between the studio desk and the construction site? That is the one question we are going to follow all the way to its answer today. First, we need to face the facts honestly. Analysis of architecture curricula at major universities across Europe, North America, and Asia reveals that more than half of all design studio hours are still anchored in analog, critique-based pedagogy, a format largely unchanged for decades. Meanwhile, what does the professional world look like? Surveys of leading global design firms consistently show that over 90% now classify BIM proficiency as a non-negotiable baseline skill, and in just the past 2 years, adoption of AI rendering and generative design tools has nearly tripled across mid to large practices. Schools teach concepts. Firms demand speed. The distance between those two priorities is not merely a technology gap. It is a collision of fundamentally different ways of thinking about design itself. So what exactly is AI changing inside the architecture profession? We can break it down into 3 distinct areas. First, the early concept phase. Image generation tools like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion have reduced the time spent on initial client concept discussions by roughly 40%. What once required days of sketching and mood board preparation can now yield dozens of visual directions in minutes from a well-crafted prompt. Second, drawing automation. Platforms like Autodesk Generative Design link real-time code compliance and structural review directly to the design model. Integrating AI with BIM workflows has been shown to reduce design error rates by as much as 72%, a result previously achievable only through costly external engineering review cycles. Third, energy simulation and constructability analysis. AI's ability to evaluate millions of variables simultaneously is bringing these capabilities in-house to design teams, eliminating the need to outsource complex performance work to specialist consultancies. Enough theory. For working practitioners, the only question that matters is, what can I actually apply to my workflow today? Here is a practical breakdown by phase. Phase 1 is visual communication. Midjourney and Adobe Firefly can generate client-ready atmospheric concept images within a single working day, and for interior design specifically, material finish combination simulations are exceptionally effective. Phase 2 is BIM and AI integration. Pairing Revit with Dynamo scripting dramatically cuts the time spent on repetitive quantity takeoffs and schedule generation, with practitioners reporting error rate reductions of over 50%. Phase 3 is text-based AI assistance. Tools like ChatGPT can handle preliminary building code review, specification draft writing, and executive summary preparation for client reports, a genuine productivity multiplier for any project team. Phase 4 is architecture-specific platforms. Autodesk Forma, formerly SpaceMaker, and similar purpose-built tools handle everything from site analysis to massing studies within a single integrated environment. Now let us shift focus to the academic side. Change is already underway. Starting in 2023, a small but growing number of forward-thinking architecture programs began embedding dedicated AI design studios as formal, credit-bearing courses, giving students end-to-end experience that moves from generative AI form-finding through BIM structuring and performance simulation, all within a single semester. The global leaders are moving fastest. The Bartlett School of Architecture in London and SCI Arc in Los Angeles have already redefined AI not as a support tool, but as a design collaborator, running research studios that specifically investigate how human creativity and machine intelligence work together. The contrast with the broader picture is stark at the majority of institutions worldwide. Software education still depends primarily on one-off external workshops rather than integrated core curricula. Without structural change at the program level, the divide will not narrow, it will widen. As AI capabilities accelerate over the next decade, how will the roles of architects and interior designers be fundamentally redefined? Many practitioners carry a quiet fear. Will my position still exist? The honest answer is that roles will not disappear uniformly. Some will contract sharply while entirely new ones emerge in their place. Tasks defined by high-volume repetition, standard drawing production, mechanical quantity takeoffs, templated construction documentation, face significant displacement as AI systems continue to mature. Approximately 60% of today's routine architectural output falls into this category. However, the capabilities that become more valuable, not less, are those requiring genuine understanding of a client's life, translating that understanding into spatial narrative, reading the cultural and contextual layers of a specific place, and perhaps most critically, selecting the most genuinely human answer from among the hundreds of options an AI will surface. The architect of the future is evolving from someone who draws to someone who curates. Let us bring today's discussion together. AI is doing two things simultaneously to architecture, education, and practice. It is closing the historic gap between the studio and the job site, while at the same time raising a completely new set of questions. Not how well can you operate the tools, but what will you create with them? Not how fast can the AI render it, but can you articulate clearly why this space, in this place, for these people, is the right answer. For architects and interior designers navigating this transition, the path forward is neither to fear and avoid AI, nor to follow it blindly. It is to understand AI's capabilities deeply, while sharpening the one quality it cannot replicate: a considered, human philosophy of space. That combination, technical fluency and spatial conviction, is what will define the practitioners who thrive in the decade ahead. What do you think?